The courtroom was quiet until the judge spoke the following words, destroying the Brown family irreparably. Robin's crying, Cody's raging anger, and a betrayal they never even saw. This was not a verdict. This was the dismantling of everything they believed they had accomplished. Hi everyone, it's Anya, and welcome back to Core Wealth. What happened today was not another sister-wives brawl. It was the day long-whispered secrets finally stepped into the courtroom, refusing to stay in the shadows any longer. For years, rumors abounded, secret funds, plotting, and backroom deals. Fans speculated, insiders suggested, but proof, that never came. Until yesterday. And on the 11th of August, everything changed. The courtroom was packed to the rafters, shoulder to shoulder with reporters, cameras clicking, all waiting for the slightest hint of feeling. You could sense the tension coiling like a storm about to break. And then silence. Judge Morales had arrived, a female jurist renowned for peeling back the veneer and exposing the reality. But it was not the judge's expression that put everyone on high alert. It was the evidence. A manila envelope labeled confidential rested on the table of the prosecution. Whispers were rife. It might contain incriminatory financial documents, secret audio recordings, maybe even witness statements from family members. But the shock of all shocks, a flash drive. The very piece of evidence everyone had been made to believe did not exist. As the judge reached for it, Robin turned pale. Christine's jaw clenched. Mary's lips compressed into something that was almost relief and payback. The next 10 minutes, everyone knew, would change the destiny of the Brown family. The clerk passed the envelope along. Cameras snapped wildly. Christine bent in close to Mary and whispered, "If this is what I believe it is, Cody's done for." The judge cut through the seal, extracting the sheaf of papers, and there it was, the flash drive. "Mr. Brown," the judge spoke, her voice firm, "these files contradict your sworn testimony on no uncertain terms." Cody's face went white, and the audience gasped. Then, black screen, on-screen text, what's on the flash drive, and why is Robin crying? The judge held the drive between his fingers, hesitating as if to allow its weight to fall into the space. "This was found hidden away under an alias property. Do you recognize it, Mr. Brown?" Cody remained silent. The judge went on, "Let the record show. The defendant refuses to answer." The tech was presented with the flash drive by the bailiff. The screen lit up, stuttering video, date December 14th, 2023. Cody's voice was irrefutable. "No one's ever going to know. I sent the money before she even filled charges. By the time they trace it, it'll already be in Robin's account." The gallery erupted into gasps. Robin's hand leapt to her mouth. Christine leaned forward, eyes blazing with vindication. The judge halted the tape. "Mr. Brown, would you care to explain these words?" Cody shifted uncomfortably, his attorney interrupting, dismissed entirely. The jury huddled closer together. The tape continued, but now there was an unwelcome voice intruding, but a voice that was known. "You're making a mistake, Cody. This won't turn out well." All heads turned around. It was Mary Brown. Robin spun her head back to Cody, horror written across her face. Fade to black. On-screen text, Mary's secret tape turns trial on its head. The screen flashed on again, Cody striding, outraged. "Mary, you're with me or against me, and if you're against me, you'll be sorry." Off camera, Mary's tone was even, unwavering. "I'm not going to jail for you, Cody. Do you think I haven't made my own copies?" A stunned gasp rippled through the courtroom. Christine even breathed softly. "Oh my!" The camera crept just close enough to record Mary's reflection, phone pressed against her body. Cody's sneer was venomous. "You wouldn't dare." Mary's voice pierced through. "Try me." The second clip featured pyramids of money stacked on a dinner table and documents with offshore account stamps. Mary's voice once more. "So this is where it all went." Cody's panicked cry out, "Turn that off! You don't know what you're doing!" And then the photos ceased. Quiet, thick, stifling quiet. Even Judge Morales hesitated to breathe it in, then leaned forward. "Ms. Brown, you will testify." Mary slowly stood up from her chair, passed Cody by without so much as a look, and sat down in the witness stand. Once sworn in, her voice was firm but unshakable. "I taped it because I knew someday the truth would be worth more than my love for him." Cody had slammed his fist on the table, but no luck. The jury had heard enough. And then, the next witness was summoned. But here is the question. If Mary was courageous enough to reveal the truth about Cody, then what happens when Robin is also faced with the truth? Hang in there, for the trial has just started. The courtroom was charged, every available seat filled, whispers humming like background static. Prosecutor Elena Rios stood up from her seat, her eyes narrowed and directed straight at Mary Brown. "Ms. Brown," Rios said, her voice slicing through the quiet, "will you under oath affirm that the voice on this recording is Cody Brown's?" Mary replied without hesitation. "Yes, I've had that voice in my head over 30 years. I know every tone, every deception." The defense objected, rising from its seat, but Judge Morales overruled. The truth was gathering momentum, and then came another twist. Rios dug into her binder and produced a sealed envelope, which she gave to the bailiff. "Your Honor," she began, "this is Exhibit B, an affidavit sworn out by a second witness, a witness who can verify Mary's testimony and add some more information regarding missing money." The courtroom murmured. Judge Morales looked at the defense. "Were you familiar with this witness?" The defense stalled. "No, Your Honor, we were not." "Because of safety issues," Rios explained. "Their names were kept confidential. They were afraid of retaliation from Mr. Brown." The gallery hummed more loudly. Robin leaned into Cody, hissing softly, but his face was taut, jaw clenched. "Call the witness," Judge Morales commanded. The large doors swung open. In walked a tall individual, black blazer, large sunglasses, face-concealing scarf. With every step, it sounded like a drumbeat as they made their way up to the aisle. The cameras trailed behind them to the front, where they stood frozen. They took off the sunglasses slowly. There were gasps in the courtroom. Jurors were leaning forward, shocked. It was Logan Brown, Cody's estranged oldest son. Cody's mouth dropped open. Robin's hold on his arm became a vice. Logan's gaze darted to his father, then to the judge. "I have evidence," he said, his tone firm, "and I'm prepared to produce it." The quiet hung so cold you could hear the hum of the fluorescent lights overhead. "Mr. Brown," Rios moved forward, "please, for the record, declare your relationship to the defendant." Logan didn't blink. "He is my father, but he has not behaved like one for a very long time." The prosecutor unfolded a black folder, pushing screenshots down the evidence table. Copies were distributed to the jury. "These," Rios said, "are bank transfers from an account belonging to our Brown Consulting LLC. Do you know them?" Logan's response was immediate. "Yes, I did open that account, but not for consulting. It was for money laundering." The defense protested vehemently. "Speculation," Rios held firm. "The witness was a direct participant. His testimony is first-hand." "Overruled," Judge Morales ruled. Logan breathed deeply and addressed the jury. The proceeds from the sale of Coyote Pass land were to be deposited in a holding account, but it was divided into three. One, my father's name, another Robin's, and then the third was under an alias. "And whose was that?" Rios probed. Logan paused, looking at his father. "It wasn't an actual person, but the trail directly points back to my dad's debit card." The jurors shifted. Robin looked down at the floor, clenching and unclenching her hands. "Are you swearing to this court?" Rios cut through the silence, her voice clean. "That Cody Brown created a false identity in order to conceal money from his family and the state?" "Yes," Logan stated, and I have the emails. He signed them himself. A cart piled with binders and a laptop rolled in. The large screen in front flickered to life. The subject header glared in bold black letter. Withdraw money before Mary finds out. Sender Cody Brown. The room exploded. Gasps coursed through the room like a wave. Cody pounded the defense table with his fist. This is a setup. You're all lying. Order! Judge Morales bellowed, slamming the gavel. Mr. Brown, quiet down or be ejected. But Cody's face was red, his breaths ragged and shallow. Logan didn't flinch, staring back at him. Yell all you want, Dad, he said. The truth is already out. The electricity sparked as Judge Morales subtly nodded to Rios. Proceed with your next piece of evidence. Rios nodded to her aide, who plugged in a second flash drive into the courtroom computer system. Your Honor, this video was recorded last night from a private security camera outside the old Brown house. The defense sprang up to protest. We haven't had a chance to view this evidence. Overruled, said Judge Morales easily. Play the tape. The screen came on. Grainy video, shadows of night vision over Coyote Pass, 2 headlights, a white pickup pulled up alongside a storage shed. Its occupant got out, Cody Brown. The courtroom sat forward. The clock on the screen was 2:14 a.m. On screen, Cody jammed a crowbar into the lock and yanked the shed door open. Duffel bags one by one, he pulled them out and flung them into the truck bed. Mr. Brown, Rios asked, his voice cold, do you reject this is you? This is absurd, Cody sneered. I was relocating personal items. Rios played it again. One of the duffels fell, striking the ground. Cash spilled out in fat wads, scattering under the security light. The gallery collectively gasped. Even the jurors' stony faces fissured. Coincidence? Rios asked dryly. Let's look at more. Cody pushed the bills back in the bag, panicked, and grabbed his phone. His voice clear with the volume turned up. Got it. Tell Robin, half tonight, the rest after Mary signs. Cody's knuckles whitened on the table. Robin hid her face in her hands. And in that instant, the Brown family secrets weren't rumors anymore. They were facts. The court had already been shaken, but when Prosecutor Rios spun around to face the judge, what she said blew like dynamite. Your Honor, this document corroborates the financial statements that were previously offered and establishes that the defendant and his wife conspired together to hide huge sums of money, not just from their own family, but from the authorities as well. The gallery erupted into a storm of whispers and outrage. Judge Morales pounded her gavel again and again. Order! Order in the court! Once the silence finally fell, the camera cut to Cody. His glare sliced over to Logan like a blade. Logan refused to blink, though, and then came the moment no one could pretend not to see. The prosecution calls Mary Brown to the stand, Rios declared. Mary stood firm with unyielding determination, each step echoing like a countdown to a long-pending explosion. Having sworn the oath, she faced the jury. Yes, she admitted, I was technically married to Cody and spiritually much, much longer than I should have been. A whisper ran through the crowd. Cody's jaw tightened, his knuckles whitening. Mary, Rios said, tell the court what happened in the weeks leading up to what we saw on that tape. Mary folded her hands, her eyes on the jury. I witnessed money drawn down from family accounts. At first, I thought it was a mistake, but then I followed the transfers, not just to Robin's account, but to companies I'd never seen or heard of. Robin changed position in her seat. Cody looked at her sternly, warning her not to talk. Did you talk to him? Rios asked. Yes, Mary replied. He told me it was temporary, that it was for the good of the family. But when Cody says that, it is always for himself. The defense objected. Opinion, Your Honor. Overruled, Morales snorted. Continue. Mary, Rios leaned forward. What happened on the night that you left? Mary caught her breath. I overheard him on the phone with Robin. He said to her, After Mary's out of the way, it's ours." The gallery gasped. Robin's head whipped around to Cody. "That's not what you said," she cried. "Shut up, Robin," Cody snarled. The gavel came down with a loud crack. "Control yourselves." But it was too late. Robin's voice had cracked. The jury had heard it. The crack, the fracture in their solid front. "No further questions," Rios answered coldly, stepping back. Mary's testimony was incriminating, but what came next would turn the trial on its end. The bailiff stepped out from behind the podium. "The prosecution calls Robin Brown to the stand." A shockwave of surprise tore through the courtroom. Cody's pen hung in mid-air halfway down the page. He glared at Robin like a wolf sensing betrayal. Robin stood up slowly, her face white, her steps hesitant. With every step, she moved further away from the life she had struggled so hard to preserve. When she was sworn in, Rios tempered her tone. "Robin, I know it hurts, but the truth must be spoken, all of it." Robin's eyes flicked to Cody. His own gaze was cold, threatening. "I don't want to hurt anyone," she panted. "Robin," Rios wheedled gently. "Truth hurts, lies kill." Robin's Adam's apple jumped as she swallowed. "Did you know about the transfers of money from family accounts to businesses in your name?" A hesitation. Cody's palm slapped the defense table. "At first, no," Robin admitted. "But then I read the comments." "Objection," the defense thundered. "Hearsay." "Overruled," Morales cut in. Robin's voice trembled. "When I asked him why, Cody told me it was to keep money from the others, from us, for our future." The gallery gasped again. Cody's jaw clenched, fists bunching. "And did you believe him?" Rios asked. Robin's eyes filled with tears. "I did. But when I looked at the numbers, hundreds of thousands of dollars, I knew it wasn't protection. It was theft." "Lies," Cody exploded. "You were in on it from the start." "Mr. Brown," boomed Judge Morales, "one more rant and I will hold you in contempt." Robin gazed at her hands, not even daring to glance at Cody. The jury saw it for themselves. This was no longer devotion. This was terror. And in that single instant, the impregnable mask between Cody and Robin crumbled in front of everyone. The courtroom was aware. It was not just Cody standing trial anymore. The Brown family itself was disintegrating live on television. The screen burned across the courtroom, shining bright light on the damning subject line. "Take money before Mary sees it," hastily signed by Cody Brown himself. The gallery gasped en masse. Cody slammed his fist onto the table. "This is a setup. You're all lying," he thundered. Judge Morales's gavel crackled with thunder. "Mr. Brown, please remain calm or you will be removed from this courtroom." But Cody's face was already red scarlet, gasping for breaths. Across the aisle, Logan didn't even flinch, his voice steady and crisp. "Yell all you want, Dad. The truth's out now." Tension hung in the air. Judge Morales nodded to Rios. "You may proceed with your next piece of evidence." Rios gestured to her aide, and the aide plugged in a flash drive into the computer. The room gasped as the screen sprang to life. "Your Honor," Rios announced, "this video was recovered last night from a private security camera outside the Browns' old residence. The defense has not seen it yet." The defense jumped up. "Objection! We have a right to review all evidence." "Overruled," Morales cut in, emphatic. "Relevance will control admissibility." The tape played, grainy but readable. Midnight darkness flowed across Coyote Pass. Nothing at first, just blackness, the distant cry of the wind. Then headlights sliced into the quiet. A white pickup truck pulled up alongside the old storage shed. The driver's door creaked open. Cody Brown appeared. Every head in the courtroom leaned forward. The clock read 2:14 a.m. On tape, Cody jammed a crowbar into the lock and pried open the shed. He loaded 3 heavy duffel bags into the truck bed. "Mr. Brown," Rios asked sharply, freezing the tape, "do you deny that is you?" "This is ridiculous," Cody burst out. "I was moving personal belongings." Then let's go on. The tape resumed. Cody staggered, and one of the duffels crashed to the ground. Under the cold security light, money spilled across the gravel in fat, undeniable piles. Gasps passed through the gallery. Even the stoic faces of the jurors cracked with shock. That could be anything, the defense protested weakly. Play the rest, Rios ordered. On camera, Cody knocked the bills back wildly into the bag, shoved it into the truck, and took out his phone. His voice was muffled until the judge demanded the sound be turned up. Now it was ringing out with hard, cold clarity. Got it. Tell Robin, half tonight, the rest after Mary signs. Robin collapsed into her hands, shaking from head to toe. Cody's knuckles whitened as he gripped the table. Evidence of that sort, Rios said quietly, purports to support Scene 5 financial records and reveals that the defendant and his wife were concealing enormous sums of money from their kin and from authorities. The courtroom erupted again. Gasp, angry muttering, shock. Judge Morales slammed the gavel against the bench again and again. Order! Order in the court! When the sound died away, the camera caught Cody's eyes blazing with venom, locked on Logan. The stare was so hard it could cut. Logan didn't even flinch. Call your next witness, Morales instructed. The prosecution calls Mary Brown, Rios stated. Mary rose. Her eyes flashed with something new, finality. Her heels clicked on tile like a countdown to blast. After the oath, Rios leaned forward. Mary, you were legally married to the defendant once. That is true, isn't it? Yes, Mary replied, and spiritually bound to him much longer than I should have been, the crowd murmured. Cody's jaw tightened. In your words, Rios continued, tell me what was happening in the weeks leading up to what we just saw. Mary folded her hands tight. I saw money missing, first out of family funds, then from investments. I thought it was a mistake at first. Then I found the transfers to Robin's account and to companies I'd never even heard of. Robin shifted uncomfortably. Cody glared at her, shutting her up. Did you speak with him? Rios asked. Yes, told me it was temporary, for the family's good, but I've known Cody long enough to know that when he says for the family, he means for him. The defense arose. Objection, opinion. Overruled, Morales barked. Mary, Rios pressed on, tell us about the evening you finally decided to leave. Mary inhaled sharply. I was eavesdropping on him on the phone with Robin. He told her, once Mary's gone, it's ours. The courtroom exploded into outrage. Robin's head whipped around to Cody. That is not what you said to me, she screamed, her voice cracking. Shut up, Robin, Cody growled. The gavel crashed down. Control yourselves, Morales bellowed. But too late. The jury had witnessed it. The crack. Robin's loyalty had broken wide apart. No further questions, Rios announced. Robin's silence was already damning, and what came next would be worse. The bailiff stepped forward. The prosecution calls Robin Brown to the witness stand. A murmur spread through the gallery like a storm. Cody's movement stopped mid-step, her gaze on Robin with the wild look of an animal stalking prey. Robin stood up slowly, her face pale, her step uncertain, each step leading her further away from the life she had fought to preserve. After the oath, Rios spoke quietly. Robin, I know this will cause pain, but the whole truth has to be told. Robin's gaze flicked to Cody. His was unyielding, menacing. I don't want to hurt anyone, she said. Robin, Rios told her sharply, truth hurts sometimes, but lies kill. The room was silent. Robin gulped hard, and then she began to speak. Robin finally spoke out. I questioned Cody about it, and he said it was just to hold back the money from the others. Said it was for us, for the future of us. Gasps burst like fireweed through the courtroom. Cody's jaw tightened, his knuckles bone white against the defense table. Did you believe him? Rios probed. Robin's eyes brimmed over with tears. I wanted to, but when I saw the figures, hundreds of thousands, I knew it wasn't protection. It was robbery. Cody exploded. That's a lie. You were in on it from the start. The gavel came down. Mr. Brown, one more outburst and you'll be in contempt. Robin cast her eyes down, refusing to look at Cody. The jury had seen it, their united stand shattered. Rios leaned forward on the hammer blow. Robin! Nearly $1 million was deposited offshore, wasn't it? The courtroom went quiet. Outside the courthouse, cameras flashed like lightning. Reporters swarmed. Christine, are you testifying today? Janelle, is this the end of Sister Wives? Janelle raised her hand, calm but firm. I'm not discussing current proceedings, but I'll say this. Trust, once broken, cannot be bought. Not for money, not for vows. The mob broke out in additional questions, but Janelle walked away, leading Christine to a black SUV that was stopped nearby. The doors closed, muffling the commotion. Soon, Cody and Robin arrived. Cody wore a stony face, set jaw. Robin clutched his arm, bent head. Cody, did you siphon Brown family money into personal accounts? Robin, did you receive notification about missing money? Cody remained frozen, staring into the lens of one camera. This was my family. What's happening now is a smear campaign. You'll hear my side soon enough, and when you do, you'll understand. With that, he pulled Robin down the stairs, disappearing into their SUV. Newsrooms ignited from coast to coast. Networks broke live. Janelle's sharp words, Christine's glare, Cody's defiance played repeatedly. Headlines blared, Brown family shattered, $1 million mystery, Cody versus Janelle, courtroom war. Twitter went wild, $1 million scandal, sister wives truth. Memes, indignation and conjecture circulated round the clock. But there, nestled in the maelstrom of tweets, one stood out for me. A blurry photo of Cody at a Las Vegas bank in 2021, cradling a manila envelope. The tagline was, "This is where it all started. Stay tuned soon." Back in the courtroom, Judgment Day. The gallery buzzed with nervous tension, stale coffee smoke hanging in the air. The jury sat down, faces weighed with the weight of their decision. Judge Hamilton adjusted his glasses up the bridge of his nose. Members of the jury, do you have a unanimous verdict? The four-person stood, gripping a crumpled bit of paper. We do, Your Honour. The bailiff brought it up to the bench. Hamilton unrolled it slowly, an eyebrow cocked as he read. In the case of Janelle Brown versus Cody Brown, in regard to the alleged misappropriation of $1 million, the sentence hung in the air, each ear stretched tight. Cody was gripping the edge of the table, his knuckles white. Janelle forced herself forward. Robin's eyes were still fixed on the floor. And then bang! The rear doors swung open. A flushed court clerk burst in, clutching a thick sealed envelope. Your Honour! Just came in. Labelled urgent. Anonymous sender. Gasps ripped through the courtroom. The judge exchanged a glance with both legal teams. Bailiff, secure that envelope. We'll recess until it's been reviewed. Cody's face flickered with panic. Janelle's eyes narrowed. Flashbulbs popped like gunfire. The camera focused on the envelope held by the bailiff. Across the face, a blood-red stamp. Evidence. Open immediately. On the reverse, scribbled in heavy black marker, ask Cody about the vault. The gavel came down. Court is in recess. Fade out. And it's like this, folks, that this scandal goes darker. What is in the vault? Who is responsible for leaking the envelope? And how will this surprise alter the verdict? Hit that like button if you're Narrator Team Wives, subscribe for the next bombshell update, and leave your theories in the comments. This saga continues. Stay shady, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next scandal.